Hey everyone, welcome to yet another Artist Spotlight podcast episode featuring the best North American independent music artists that we represent. I'm Jey, lead publicist here at Presstown Media, and I'm here with our writer and co-publicist, Stephan. And Stephan, you actually introduced me to our next guest, and I've been loving the vibe ever since. With summer just around the corner, this is the music that you want to hear and play. Welcome, Canadian roots reggae rock artist, Baby Boy of the Earthly Delights. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So we're going to start with just like a couple lighter questions that don't really mean anything, just to kind of like get it going. But Ryan, your favorite fruit and why?
My favorite fruit, probably raspberries, for sure. And because they go well in cereal. Maybe not Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but that's okay. That's more of a dessert anyway. And then I think it's probably the ephemeral nature to raspberries that really gets me, because within 2 days of getting them, you have crappy fruit that you have to throw at. So you really have to savor the moment with the raspberry.
You got to eat them quick too.
Yeah. Fast.
Yeah. And if you don't, freeze them. Freeze them and put them in a smoothie after.
Put them in a pot
that's a
or
good,
something.
nice. How did I never think of that?
Stephan, what's your favorite fruit?
Oh man, that's tough. I like kiwi a lot.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. Not a lot of people love kiwi.
I just love getting like a nice spoonful of kiwi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's got to be sweet though, no? Like
kiwi.
if they're tart, I'm like...
Yeah. I really like lychees too.
Oh yeah.
I was only introduced to those like 2 years ago. Went my whole life without knowing what the hell a lychee was.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely fruit in the world that we just don't know exists yet. Like when I went to Costa Rica, I like opened up this cacao pod and it was so beautiful. And then just all the fruit that is there that is much like a raspberry. It just goes in like a day if you pick it off a tree.
Yeah, because it's ripe already, right? So just picking it off and eating it. That's the best.
Oh yeah.
I love the world of fruit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine's mango, I think. Yeah.
We picked like all the sweetest fruit, basically.
Yeah. Sugar.
We got no room for dragon fruit here.
Oh God, dragon fruit is such a disappointment.
It is, because it looks like a kiwi.
Yeah.
And it's called dragon fruit. You're thinking of something like
intense,
insane on the taste buds, and you do get that, but like not the way you're thinking.
No.
What is it?
Yeah.
It's like,
so pile of dirt instead.
Nothing.
Ryan, what do you do outside of music?
Outside of music, I'm a writer and a journalist. Psychedelic and harm reduction advocate as well. Ooh. And a RuPaul's Drag Race enthusiast.
Quite the resume.
That's amazing.
Yeah, just check me on Reddit, just constantly it's like answering questions. They're like, who was it in season 6? I'm like, don't worry, it was Ben de la Creme.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I've actually been watching it like before I go to work now. I work for Victoria Buzz out here in Victoria, and my partner will now, instead of waking up to her alarm clock, she'll be waking up to like the intro song to RuPaul's Drag Race. It's just like RuPaul's Drag Race.
She must be like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. And then like it really sets the tone for the day, because I get to work and I'm just like a little bit bitchy, like
a little sassy. You're vibing. Yeah.
A little sass. That's awesome. Wow.
So wait, you actually go into work? What is that like?
Yeah.
What work?
Yeah, we're allowed to go into work here. Yeah, for now at least.
Oh wow.
The numbers are looking great, and I report on COVID as well for the audience. And yeah, just like getting to know all the numbers like every day. Like when it's bad, like I noticed how actually depressed I was. And now in BC, the numbers are like getting really good. And I notice I'm just like jovial again.
That's awesome.
Thank God. Like I'm going to have PTSD. I don't know if I'm going to be a reporter after this.
Yeah. No, that's fair. If you're just reporting on it for the over and over and over again, and it's just bad thing after bad thing, or
great. Yeah. Like I think as a reporter, like it takes a certain frame of mind that like maybe not. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out now because, like, you know, I do these stories and I actually get like really affected by them. Whereas I feel, you know, some journalists are just like really desensitized to it. But
it depends on what kind of journalist, for sure.
Yeah.
We can talk.
Why can't I just be an art? Yeah, I just want to be an arts journalist again.
Yeah. It's like, this stuff is way too serious.
Yeah.
You have a dog. Could you tell us about your dog?
Oh yeah, I think he's just right over here.
Oh, I love dogs. I miss
He's pint-sized.
Oh. Hi, little buddy.
Yeah, this is Pancakes.
Oh, Pancakes. What a cutie pie. Oh my god.
Yeah,
but he eats his own crap, so beware.
Don't do that, Pancakes.
Yeah, we like taught him to roll over. We taught him to do paw, you know, like all these things. But the one thing we can't unteach is him eating his own poop.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of being a dog, though.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because we feed him so well.
Yeah.
And he just wants the second round.
It's like a cow. They regurgitate their stuff, but this is like another sense.
Yeah, basically.
Awesome.
But yeah, Pancakes is nice. Yeah, I love him.
He's a cutie pie, definitely. Ryan, so we are working with you on your two latest releases, What You Want, Ain't What You Need, and the newest one, which we just released about 2 weeks ago now, Day by Day, which was just featured in the Edmonton Journal, and that's originally where you're from, but the band is based now in Victoria.
Yeah, so the band is like kind of my passion project that I've had for maybe 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gone through a lot of transitions, but the one thing that's stayed true is me. So while a lot of the members of the band are in Edmonton, yeah, I'm in Victoria, and I can get session musicians and all that, but there's definitely certain players that like I feel like are the core earthly delights, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us about the inspiration then behind What You Want and Day by Day.
Yeah, What You Want, I guess I'll start with first, is sort of a catchy line that I come up with. And it's sort of, I hate giving away like meanings of songs, but to me right now, it's a song just about like spiritual and personal and political revolution, and calling out both like left and right wing ideologies, and basically like it's like the horseshoe effect, whereas when you pull the horseshoe down, these left wing and right wing ideologies are essentially the same. So that kind of inspired that song a bit, and then Day by Day is a song pretty close to my heart, that I started writing when I was 18.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm 27 and have like recorded it to exactly what I heard in my brain when I was 18 years old. And the lyrics there are pretty great. It was inspired by an old reggae dude that I saw at a hotel, that I got to talking to, Mozzie, the shamanistic dreadlock dude. And yeah, he just kind of gave me words of advice, you know, take it day by day. And he could sense that I was really on that path of wanting to become a reggae musician. And he, somewhere out there, is still saying those words.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely been an inspiring song to me throughout. And so I hope it's inspiring to other people too.
When this world finally comes to an end, I will be right there beside you.
How did you actually get into like making roots reggae music, like transitioning? Because you've been in other bands too, but like how did you kind of transition into this one?
Yeah, me and Stephan were in a David Bowie cover band for the listeners out there.
Awesome.
And then I was just like a drummer for most bands, and that's all I ever saw myself as, like always a supporting player in other people's bands. And I think I was always writing songs, and they were definitely always more reggae and roots influenced, because that's what I just loved listening to and took a lot of inspiration for when I was playing drums. But whenever I like brought them to a band, they just didn't fit. So all these like rock bands and like kind of more hip hop pop bands, I would just be playing drums in, and then I don't know what it was, but something shifted where, you know, I think it was just friends encouraging me, like, you can lead a band, and me just saying, no, I can't. Like, I don't think I have the attitude. But then I did. I just channeled my inner Jim Morrison and tried to do the best. You know, when I was growing up, I would always look in the mirror. I loved Jim Morrison, and I would look in the mirror and just like pretend to be Jim Morrison. But it was just like pretend to me. And now that I'm older and feel like I can do it, then my Jim Morrison is channeling more. But I'm 27, so let's hope I last long for Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
Weird that you bring that up.
Like, fuck. Got 5 months left.
So tell us about that story though in Jamaica when you had went and you're like, oh, you know, Bob Marley's whack or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, never mind. Who changed your mind about that?
Yeah. So like I said, my dad would always be playing Bob Marley in the car. And to me, it was because my dad's just like a dork. And and yeah, he would just play it, and it was kind of like, to me, I was just like, I don't really get it yet. It just nothing clicked. And I think that happens. I think everyone can relate to that, where suddenly things click. And then we went to Jamaica 3 years in a row to Negril and Ocho Rios, and it was in Ocho Rios where they always had like entertainment at night, and one of them was a covers band for mostly like Tough Gong Records, and Tough Gong is the record label that Bob Marley was on, and they produce a lot of really good reggae in the 60s and 70s. And we were just like, I don't know, something just clicked. It was like all that like dorkiness of my dad just like dissipated, and like this like cool like dreadlocks like down to his feet, just in like it's so hot in Jamaica, but he was in jeans and like a dress shirt and not sweating, and he was just cool, and he's like obviously baked, but I don't know it at the time because I'm just like 12. And he's just playing these songs, and I'm just like at that point I had just started like playing drums, and yeah, I was just watching these guys play, and just the backbeat was really inspiring. And then my dad could sense like, oh, like Ryan's loving it. And he goes to the guy after the show and then like introduces me, and I'm just like, and he's just like super, super nice. And he just sits down with me. My dad gives him $10 for a CD, and he just burns all of these Tough Gong CDs onto it.
Awesome.
And he sits down with me and explains like what reggae is, and how the backbeat and downbeat is like an FU to colonialism, and like because Jamaica was a British colony. And yeah, from there he kind of gave me the roots of reggae. And then when I went home, I like asked my drum teacher, I was like, we got to learn reggae. We started learning reggae, and then I started getting into like, you know, the second wave of ska, which came from all of the Jamaica people going to England to work. And then that, you know, brought people like the Specials. And then naturally I become 15 years old and I start loving Sublime, and like most 15-year-olds.
Right.
And then everybody's like, for right now, for some reason, Sublime is going through a hate phase. Like people are like, that's so like purple dreadlocked people that work at bong stores like Sublime. And I'm like, I still like Sublime.
Nostalgic.
Yeah. So that was my foray into reggae music, essentially. Yeah.
That's awesome. So we were talking about your childhood a little bit. Has music always been a part of your life growing up? When did you start learning your first instrument, and what was that?
Yeah, I think I started playing chopsticks on the piano when I was like 3 years old.
Me too. Yeah, it's awesome.
And then my parents were like, he's a prodigy.
Playing chopsticks in perfect timing. Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, I started with piano. My parents put me in the Royal Conservatory of Canada, where I studied classical music for a good 12 years. And yeah, that was definitely the basis of all of my musical knowledge. My parents will love that I said that too, because when I was growing up, I hated it. And I was, and they were always like, one day you'll thank us. And I was like, nah, never. But here we are.
Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely informed a lot of my musicality. And then I got the drums around the same time I went to Jamaica, maybe like a year or two before. And that was my musical awakening, because now I didn't have to practice songs, I could create beats, and that was
that's awesome.
really inspiring to me.
Very, very cool. So Stephan had sent over your stuff to some radio station in Australia, and I sent your music to Lanai Tabura and Big Koa over in Hawaii. And for those who don't know who Lanai is, he is a media figure and radio show host, and Big Koa is a programmer over at Island 98.5, Hawaii's #1 reggae station. So aloha to you guys. So I sent it over there because I can see your music being played in Hawaii, in Costa Rica, in Australia. It's totally an island vibe all the time. So hopefully we can get some airplay over there. But where in the world, if you can pick, would be the place that you'd love to tour right now?
Yeah, I know. Touring is I've never thought of that question for a tour. I'm always like, I've really wanted to go to Eastern Europe just to travel. But I hear amazing things about Brazil for touring. Yeah, and a band that I really look up to as well, that's from Victoria, Current Swell, had this like crazy following in Brazil. So I think the Brazilian audiences are definitely receptive to the reggae roots music as well. But anywhere sunny like Hawaii or Costa Rica, I'm very into. My goal is definitely to play Envision Festival in Costa Rica.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, because I go to that. I've been to that 5 times, and every time, I've gone 5 times. Yeah, it's my favorite festival. And there's just tons of roots reggae music from all over the world. There's this Colombian reggae band, Rojo reggae band, and I saw them last year, 2020, just before the pandemic hit, and it was great. I love it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, to summarize, Costa Rica, Hawaii, and Brazil.
Let's get them out there.
Australia too.
Yeah, Australia too. They would love that stuff.
Yeah, they love reggae in Australia.
Yeah, I heard Melbourne has a really good music scene, also music art scene.
Yeah, they do.
Place too.
Cool. So you kind of have like a persona with Baby Boy and the Earthly Delights. You are Baby Boy, and it's kind of like not specifically just Ryan, but the character you created around the band. Could you tell the audience a little bit about what Baby Boy represents in Earthly Delights?
Yeah, so the name Baby Boy comes from essentially in Rastafarianism, the Babylon system is what we know of to be, credit cards, like who you are in the system of government, essentially. And then when I was leaving home, I remember when I was moving out of my parents' place, my dad showed me my live birth certificate, and he was like, "You're lucky." And at this point, my dad was really into the free man kind of movement, or like free man of societies. And he showed me this live birth certificate that said Baby Boy, and he was like, "You're so lucky." And I was like, "Well, why is that?" And he was like, "Because this is you. Like, this is you actually." And I was like, "Oh, like, what do you mean?" And he was like, most people are Ryan or his name is David, and that's who they are in the system. But you have a thing that is not the system that says that you are this. So I was like really like mind blown with that.
You got some cool parents.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a Roman Catholic Irish mom and an atheist Virginia dad, so they're pretty interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah. So he told me that, and I've always been inspired by that, and I was like, okay, like when I'm an artist on my own, that will be my name. And then I was really inspired by Hieronymus Bosch's painting The Earthly Delights, and I just figured this story of, you know, actually me, like baby boy going through the Garden of Earthly Delights, which shows Nirvana, hell, and the Garden of Eden. I just found it to be a good allegory for going through actual life, but I don't have to get hung up on, you know, credit card payments or, you know, just general day-to-day. Baby Boy and the Earthly Delights is me acting out the fantasy and the beauty of life and the myth of life through a character and through different names.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I know live shows aren't like a thing in the cards for a while, but have you thought about what you want the live show to look like aesthetic wise? You seem to like want to have some theatrics in it as well too. Have you kind of planned that out?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. So I've been planning a live show when we do come back, and the opener would be a really good friend of mine, Kevin Gaudette, who plays the gongs, and that would sort of open the show. It would be a more relaxed environment where people can just take in a sound bath before getting into our music, and so it would be the sound bath, and then we would get into our show, which would, you know, have us dressed up in like masquerade masks and suits, and I would take a lot of inspiration from drag, you know, makeup, and I've been actually getting into NFTs a bit and like seeing what they can offer in a live setting. So I've been looking into that as well, and talking to some artists about having some live NFTs, I guess you could say.
So like visuals, like in the background kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
And then not only that, but we would have actors in the show, I guess, playing different earthly delights as well, and sort of acting as there's going to be like a narrative in the show, and there's going to be actors, I guess, in the process, kind of acting that out as well.
Wow, that's a huge production.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna go broke. Brian Hook's gonna go broke, but Baby Boy is gonna be rich beyond belief.
Wow, love that. I would love to see that show too.
Yeah,
that's gonna be awesome. So I guess that's gonna be in Victoria first.
Yeah, probably Edmonton actually.
Oh, and Edmonton. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have most of your fan base in Edmonton now?
Yeah, I'd say most of the fan base is in Edmonton. I'm slowly working my way through Victoria now, just digitally on like Facebook groups.
It's hard to break into a scene right now when,
right,
you know, it's only online and like, they don't really know who you are yet. Haven't seen you, but
like I am going down to Dallas Road, which is a really popular place in Victoria, and like giving out free poetry and you know, offering people like, do you want a song, a poem, or a compliment? And kind of doing that. Like, I'll do that later today.
Yeah, for sure. And you have something new coming up too that you're working on. And I know that a lot of people will appreciate it. I know here would appreciate it for sure. It's a virtual brunch show, right? So tell us more about that, and you know, what you're going to do in that.
Yeah, so the virtual brunch show happens every Sunday, and I started it last week, and I'll do it tomorrow as well. And then within time, my partner Caitlin will she's a nutritionist and a yoga teacher, and she wants to essentially create a menu, so we can put a menu out first, and then she'll guide you through making this, and then we'll start my show as well. So it'll be like a tandem production of food and vibes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then so in that, because I don't have a band, I can't do that live streaming. I'll be looping with a looper pedal, and up until the EP is released at the end of the month, I'll play some songs off that too.
Oh, awesome. Can you give us a little hint of what the food menu might be, or is that completely...
No, I'm down. She, because I just get to talk about the awesome food she makes. One of the things is like a delicious pancake breakfast with, she's so much better at explaining it. But her pancakes are amazing, to say the least. That's why I named my dog after it.
I was gonna ask,
And then she also makes a great French toast breakfast sandwich that was unreal.
That sounds delicious.
It's like a McGriddle, but with a little bit of like hemp hearts, so you can say it's healthy.
Bit of class.
I love hemp hearts. That's totally my vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Montreal. Everything.
That's it. And Montreal is such a foodie city, so us and brunch and food and music all together, that's going to be amazing. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
I can feel it.
That's something that, like, way down the road you could do live too. Have like a show and then be like, okay, we're going to eat first. Here's the meals that we're going to, either prepare together or like have prepared, set menu, and then you just the soundtrack while people are eating brunch. That'd be sweet.
Truly. And then the servers could be fellow earthly delights
there
as
you
well.
Go. Yeah.
So you're going to be performing the songs that you have out currently, but also the songs that you're going to have on your EP coming up.
Yeah, totally. And then also like spur of the moment jams, which is really fun to do in live looping scenarios.
Very cool. Yeah.
You can like text me topics and I'll be like, peanut butter and jam.
Like
awesome.
ad-libbing improv. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So you wrote a short story called Stepping Stones that's going to be linked to the EP coming out. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. The short story is kind of combining my love of writing and music. And that short story is kind of about Mozzie, who we talked about, was the guy who inspired me to do reggae. And the short stories definitely contribute to the lore of the band. So there's going to be a lot more of those coming out. And that one in particular, is about like day by day and like the origins of that song, but in a abstract and surrealistic way.
Cosmic level.
Yeah, exactly. And those stories are going to be really informed by like Greek mythology and Catholicism and all these things that I've grown up with and have been able to disseminate into like fantastic myths. Because I think one thing, especially nowadays, because millennials are so irreverent, we lose touch with that. The Bible is actually incredible storytelling. Like the stories are amazing, and it doesn't have to be to the T, but you can read these stories and be like, oh my God, like these are fantastic storytelling, and that's why they're so powerful too.
For sure. Yeah. It's going to be called Stepping Stones, right? That story.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be a series of them, or?
Yeah. I plan on doing a series of short stories. Yeah.
Very cool. That's awesome. So what can we expect then from Baby Boy and the Earthly Delights in the next coming year? I know that now there's a contest going on. So talk about that a little bit.
So we're in the CBC Searchlight among some other really fantastic artists that also Presstown I see has been representing.
Yeah. What up, Jatensha?
No, they were great. I saw their Facebook ad and just messaged them, and that was nice. But back to me. So in this coming year, a lot of applying for grants. The ultimate goal with this band is to do a full-length album with my vision of like Baby Boy and the Earthly Delights, in the garden. Like I want to breathe life into this project as a theme a lot more. And with things like the CBC Searchlight and possible grants or anything like that, that will just get me closer to that. Like I plan on doing a full-length album no matter what. And it could be like 7 years from now and I get no grants, or it could be like 2 years from now and I get grants, or I get help from CBC or places like that to help me realize my vision. Yeah. Awesome.
So what do you want to tell people after this interview? What can Ryan say to the world that he wants to say?
I always like to let the music or the lyrics speak for themselves. So I'll just quote my own lyrics and say, for every rock, there's a stepping stone, one that takes you further than before. For every seed, there's a growing tree. We're in the home stretch of like a COVID-19 pandemic and we're all getting tired, but just take it day by day and just meditate on that. And we're gonna get through this. And when we're all in the sun and hanging out, it'll be so worth it.
For sure. And where can people find you?
Yeah, people can find me and the band on Facebook at Earthly Delights Music, on Instagram at Earthly Delights Music. We have a website, earthlydelightsmusic.com, and where else? On YouTube as well. You can see us at Earthly Delights Music too.
Awesome. And they're on Spotify, on every streaming platform. So guys, check them out. Follow. Listen to the music, especially this summer. It's going to be such a jam. And it was great having you on the show, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's call you Baby Boy, okay?
Yeah, you can call me Baby.
Baby Boy from now on, yeah.
Baby Boy.
Yeah, I mean, everyone did. It kind of came from, at festivals, I'll just be like, baby. Stephan now. Stephan.
Oh, yeah. That's his catchphrase.
Yeah.
Is that where it came from?
No, I mean, like, I rolled with it because everyone responded so well to me saying, baby.
Yeah. You'd always know he was walking down the street or something because baby from far away, and you're like, oh, there he is.
Yeah, it could be like bass nectar, like just blasting, and then somehow baby would just pierce through the bass.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, it was awesome having you on the show. Thanks to fans. Thank you, Ryan, Baby Boy.
Thank you.
Guys soon.
Cool.